तो एक हम लोग चलो इधर आएंगे और पिछले बार का एक बार देख लेते हैं कि हमारे व्हाट इज गोइंग ऑन हियर, दैट atma and anatma are
Atma
completely
Viveka.
different. And so, how come we are taking them to be one and the same? It has to be Ajnanam iti. Okay. So, we saw in verse 17 that Atma is partless and Atma is having parts, they're completely different. Then in the next one, we saw Atma is the ruler, whereas the Deha is the ruled. It has to follow all the laws of Ishvara iti. Atma is internal to the body. With reference to the body, we can say internal. And Anatma is external with reference to Atma. Okay. Then Atma is of the nature of consciousness, whereas this body, mind, sense complex is nothing but matter. Atma is so auspicious, pure, holy, auspicious, whereas this poor Anatma is not pure. It is subject to all kinds of things, yeah, subject to getting dirty also, both body and mind. Then Atma is the Prakashaka, the illuminator, whereas the body mind is the illumined in the light of Atma. In the light of consciousness, everything is experienced, is known. Iti. In fact, when we do pranayama, our mind becomes very quiet. At least my mind does. And when it becomes quiet, it is easy to appreciate that I am just here as presence. And in that presence, everything is going on. Breathing is taking place, sounds are being heard, then the sensation of touch is over there. Everything is taking place in the presence of this presence, that I am. And so Atma is bright, it is pure, whereas Anatma is considered Jada. When we say dark, inert means Jada. Okay, it cannot illuminate itself. It requires the presence of consciousness to be illumined. Atma is Nitya and Anatma is Anitya. It is always coming and everything is changing in it. Tak, 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 tak. In Atma, nothing is changing. Atma is Sat and Anatma is Asat. Okay, so that's what we saw. So what is Shankaracharya saying? Look at them. कितने कॉन्ट्रडिक्टरी है और फिर भी हम बोल रहे हैं कि हम वो एक ही है इति। तो ये क्यों होता होगा? बस इग्नोरेंस के कारण ही होता होगा इति। ये सब हमने लास्ट टाइम देखा, इस पे नहीं। ओके, तो फिर then Swamiji had come to this that there is no cause for sorrow. So there is one logic which is put over there, which Sonia uncle, if you're able to read, you read it out.
Yeah. No, what I couldn't follow?
If you're able to read the slide, then you read.
Yes. There is no cause for sorrow.
हाँ,
Whatever is the nature, sabhava of a thing, never leaves it. Example, fire is always hot. Heat is the nature of fire. There is no cold fire. Based on this rule, we find that I cannot be the cause of sorrow because sorrow is not I's nature.
nature, and that is proved by the next paragraph. Okay,
Why?
and
Acha, should I continue?
can continue.
Why?
Why?
If sorrow is I's nature, sorrow can never leave me. I can never be happy. Yet when a joke is cracked, we find we are happy.
Yes.
Also in the deep sleep, we do not feel any sorrow. So we do see ourselves free of sorrow. Sometimes that means I cannot be the cause of sorrow because there is no sorrow in it at any time.
There's no sorrow in me, actually, I should have written, not it. Yes, I will. अभी correct कर दूंगी। आई, ये क्या हो गया? never mind, अभी बाद में correct कर देंगे. So is this logic clear which Vedanta is using? कि whatever is the स्वभावा will never change, वो सही रहेगा वो. और फिर आई में क्या होता है कि sometimes we see that we are happy. कभी कभी अनुभव होता है, जोक क्रैक किया कि कुछ बच्चे सामने आया, आपके ग्रैंड चिल्ड्रन सामने आया है, यू आर हैप्पी. हाउ यू कैन बिकम हैप्पी इफ sorrow is your nature, if it is your swabhava? It should be like, you know, the heat is, if heat is swabhava of fire, therefore it is always there. There is no such thing as a cold fire. So similarly, if sorrow is embedded in I, it is part of I, it is intrinsic to I, it is I's nature only, then this sorrow should never go. But we do see occasions where sorrow goes, where we are not experiencing sorrow. Definitely in deep sleep, we are not experiencing sorrow, because when we get up, we say, I slept happily, I was, it was so good. Iti. And then in moments of happiness, also we feel happy. Joke is cracked. Soni uncle is very good at cracking joke. Even Anita is very good, by the way, at cracking jokes. तो उस टाइम पे सबको हंसा देते हैं, तो बड़ा सा बड़ा दुख भी उस टाइम पे नहीं होता है. So that means Vedanta says that sorrow is not the nature of this I. Okay, so in consciousness there is no sorrow at all. Okay. Then what is the cause of sadness? Iti, Bhatia uncle.
Yes. Ignorance of the real nature of it, I, is the cause of sadness.
Ah.
Remember the 10th man story.
So please remember, uncle, वो बताओ हम लोग को 10th man story.
10th man forgets himself. He doesn't count himself.
And so what is the result?
Result is sorrow.
Sorrow. He is weeping. The fellow is weeping, you know. He did not count himself. He did not see himself. He did not know himself. He was ignorant of himself being the 10th man. And the result was what? It was sorrow. Maha dukkham. Dukkham, dukkham, param dukkham. Iti. Okay, then uncle continue.
Because of ignorance, there is false perception of I, caused by superimposing the qualities of the body, mind, sense complex on I, and also superimposing the consciousness that belongs to I on the body, mind complex.
Yes. So false perception is there. Yeah. So why is false perception there? Because of ignorance. And that what that is causing us to do, it is causing us to mix up two things, you know, two things which are different in nature. We just now saw how different they are. Atma and Anatma completely different in nature. Yet we mix it up. There is a mithuni karanam. They are all mixed up. Iti. Okay, uncle.
The body is born, changes, and dies. Consciousness, the true nature of I, is not born nor dies. Yet we take ourselves to be mortal, subject to disease, old age, and death. Consciousness, the true I, is the very knowledge principle, yet we take ourselves to be ignorant. Consciousness, the true I, is infinite, yet we take ourselves to be totally limited.
And that is what Shankaracharya is saying, that look, how can this be, you know? They are totally contradictory characteristics here. So it must be nothing but ignorance alone, which is causing this problem to happen. Iti. So what would be practical takeaway for us in our lives?
No, my point is that there is so much tadamya, because by nature, by birth, this has been given to us, this ignorance, by birth itself. The question is Atma and Anatma. They have grouped it together. Supposing if I am taking water, I am eating, I will say I am eating, but you have told me that I am Satchitanand Atma. I'm
Yes.
Satyam Jnanam Anantam. But
Yes.
that has not probably gone into me because maybe I'm not qualified. Maybe the total things I have not digested to be ready to be reading the Vedanta. That may be one of the reason. But I think this is none of our fault because we have by birth,
so
by
many
birth,
janmas.
Not only this birth,
For so many janmas,
so many janmas.
infinite.
infinite number of janmas, right? So now that we know that infinite number of janmas we have had, this kind of ignorance has been there, and it is a very strong impression in our buddhi or in our mind. So now what can we do?
No, probably I will say that Buddhi is the culprit in the sense we are a evolved evolution. Our rest of the जो जानवर हैं जो मतलब जो लोअर कैटेगरी के लोग एक्सेप्ट द ह्यूमन बीइंग we are evolved to such an extent we can discriminate between right or wrong, between nitya and nitya,
So
while
now that is what you came on the right track. Therefore, we can discriminate between Nitya and Anitya. So, what is our Purushartha now? Now that we are studying Vedanta and we know that this habitual problem is there, so then what is our Purushartha now? Practically.
Read Vedant.
No, continue with Nitya and Anitya Vastu Vivekaha. Nitya Vastu Ekam Brahma Tad Vyatiriktam Sarvam Anityam. Iti. Other than that, tad vyatiriktam, tad vyatiriktam sarvam anityam. Nityam vastu ekam brahma. And tad brahma aham asmi. Iti. And tad vyatiriktam sarvam, whatever is changing, whatever is, whatever we can objectify, and everything that we objectify is changing. And therefore, they are all anityam. Iti. Nitya, nitya, vastu, viveka, we can make strong. That could be the practical takeaway here. And what will be the result of making Nitya Nitya Vastu Viveka very strong? As a natural outcome of that, what possibly can happen? What will happen? After Viveka, what comes?
vairagya.
Ah. So when that becomes very strong, okay, when the Viveka becomes very strong, very strong, then as a natural outcome, because buddhi is like that, our buddhi is like that, right? See, Akhandamananji Maharaj, I was reading this Mandukya Upanishad to Mudita Vadananji the other day, and so beautifully he said, our buddhi is like that. The minute after it really and truly understands that something is not, not nityam, and it is not giving me nitya priyam, it is not giving me nitya joy, iti, the buddhi automatically says heyam iti. This is not to be gone after karke. But the first requirement is what? Viveka. The viveka must become very strong. Okay? So that could be the practical takeaway for us. Where is it that we are maybe lacking? It could be viveka. Very strong viveka. So at all time we will do. It's okay. ऐसे भी बैठे हैं तो विवेक कर लो कि अभी मैं इधर बैठा हूँ, कुर्सी पे बैठा हूँ. लेट्स स्टार्ट विद द कुर्सी. कुर्सी इज नित्य और अनित्य. इट इज मोर नित्य देन वी आर, आई मस्ट से.
That's
More nitya than this body is, at least. Then we will come to the clothes on the body. Nitya or anitya. We have to say anitya. हमको choice ही नहीं है. Then we'll come to the body. Dear old body.
this is also Nitya.
But the minute we say what is anitya, we should say what is nitya. The viveka should go side by side. So supposing I say chair is anitya, then what is nitya? Sat is nitya. The isness of the chair is nitya. Because they are existing, they're existing same to same. One is Adhishtanam. So in the chair, what is Nitya? There is something Nitya in the chair. What is it? Satvastu. The isness is Nitya. Now we come to Mr. Skin. Skin is there. इसमें हम नित्य अनित्य देखते हैं. What is anitya and what is nitya here? With reference to the skin. Again, isness. Isness is nitya here. Skin will take different rupas afterwards, Already we know it has got many different rupas. Skin का हम लोग ने देखे बचपन में कैसी स्किन थी, अभी किस तरह की स्किन है. मेरे बाल रोज इतनी व्हाइट हो रही है.
अभी तो बहुत लूज हो गया और सॉफ्ट.
हाँ, that is muscle loss.
हाँ.
Eat more protein. प्रोटीन खाओगे तो यूरिया बन जाएगी, यूरिक एसिड बढ़ेगी.
हाँ.
No, अभी तो कुछ नहीं है, because at 87 I was not knowing all that, but is now after the fall I realized, because it is going to become still worse and worse, you see.
So that's how we realize, that now we look at the muscles in the body. As she said, they are loose. So I remember that girl who said, अरे माता जी आपका तो इधर ऐसा ऐसा चल रहा है. The arm, no?
हाँ, पर करता है even मेरा तो बहुत ही कर.
It is like a pendulum, eh?
हाँ.
No, the Guru Ma, when we are in...
But look at that. When we were young, was it like pendulum? No. That means this muscle is what? Nitya or Anitya?
Nitya.
But what is Nitya there? There is something Nitya there.
Sat.
You said isness, yes.
The isness of the muscle is Nitya. It is just taken now. First it was tight muscle, was in the form of tight muscle. Now it is in the form of loose muscle.
Loose muscle.
And now let's go to the bones, dear old bones. So bone is also degenerating, as we get older. I am to having osteoporosis, this psoriasis, that psoriasis. सब कुछ हो रहा है उसमें bone के अंदर. So once upon a time it was not like that. Now it is like that. So that is, the bone is Nitya or Anitya. Anitya. But what is Nitya there? Sat.
Again is.
Now, I'm not going further into heart and liver, and we can do for every part of the body like that. Now that Sat which is there, we are saying isness. This isness is not different from the knowledge principle, because isness is known. And nothing can be known unless there is consciousness. So that Sat which is there, which is Nitya, is not separate from consciousness. Iti. So there is something Nitya here. And that is the consciousness that you are. It is the isness of everything that is in your body. Iti. So consciousness is there. So this way we do Viveka. What is Nitya? What is Anitya? Iti. And as that Viveka becomes stronger, the capacity to do Viveka becomes stronger, believe me, the attachment that we have, that holding on to, as because it's an identity. You see, our identity is there. So when identity is there, it tries to protect itself very firmly. I won't let go. Ye hai mera identity. But then you are able to see that this identity that I am holding on to is Anitya. When you are able to see that the identity that I am holding on to is Anitya, you will start asking, what is Nitya here? And you will recognize that, hey, I am the Nitya here. The consciousness that I am, which is self-evident and self-revealing, that is Nitya here. So that kind of Nitya Anitya Vastu Viveka is, I think, our takeaway. Okay? For me, that is the takeaway in all this, whatever we are doing, such a big Aparokshanubhuti, verse by verse by verse, हम कर रहे हैं, आस्ते आस्ते कर रहे हैं. तो इसमें हम हर बार उसमें देखेंगे कि हमको इसमें से क्या मिल रहा है. Let it not be just कि हम ये academic हमने कोई उसको we picked up some academic information which is not relevant in our lives. It is highly relevant. Highly relevant. Eh? So let us see the relevance of it. Okay, what is the relevance in my life? Okay. Yeah. And with that, we can continue with reading. Okay. So we will start with me reading. I don't remember where we are. Sadness.
194.
194. We are born with identification.
We did all that. No, we didn't do
No,
that.
no, no.
We
We
did
didn't
what
do
is the
that.
cause. We did, where's the cause of sadness. So Swamiji said sadness is the result of a thought process.
It
Okay,
is 194,
190.
second para.
We are in 194.
Yes.
I thought we were in 190.
194, we are born.
Oh, very good. Okay. 194 is good. Eh? We are born with identification.
That's right.
Okay. So we are born with with this habitual identification, and now it is our job to de-identify. And that's what we were doing in our last discussion. Nitya discussion where we were de-identifying. And as Soni uncle pointed out, from birth we are having this identification and many janmas. So Swamiji has very nicely said, Ishvara has sent us with identification and now expects us to become free from that identification. But why did he do that? Swamiji is very sweet. He says, I don't know. He has given us an intellect with which we can think and discriminate and separate. And he has given us scriptures and teachers. So the infrastructure is also given. First, the problem is given, and then the infrastructure for the solution is also given. But there is no question that we are born with a problem. Every living being is born with this problem. Other creatures don't have the kind of problem that we have. All creatures have some kind of self-awareness, but that self-awareness is not as evolved as it is in the human being. And this self-awareness is a product of evolution. But we have to evolve further because right now the awareness I have of myself is the awareness of this lumped entity, Atma and Anatma. I am aware of myself, but I take the self as the Ahankara, the ego, which is necessarily a limited entity. Ahankara means the one who takes himself to be the body mind, Yes, that is the Ahankara. So the Ahankara is limited because it includes not only the limitless Atma, but also the Upadhi, that is the mind body sense complex. Therefore, I am always aware of myself, but as a limited being. Because I am married. Everybody is, before you got your spouse, you were married. How are you saying that, Swamiji? अरे we have all married our body, mind sense complex. वो तो पहले शादी हो गई है, आप सबकी दूसरी शादी हो रही है. ये अच्छी लगी मुझे.
Body sense.
You have to say I am twice married.
From birth.
From birth married. Purvas Janma also married. Okay. Dogs and cats are also limited, but they don't have the notion that I am a limited being. A dog knows that it is different from a cat and similar to other dogs, but it does not think I am a limited being. It has to evolve further to have that awareness. So the human being is the most evolved creature, but a big price has to be paid for that evolution. And the price is that I am constantly aware of myself as a limited being. This identification is habitual, not deliberate. Not only that, but I do not even know that the Ahankara, the self I am aware of, is not my true self. That is where the problem lies. Like the actor who takes himself to be a beggar because of identification with his costume. Therefore, Vedanta says that we need to do this, that what we need to do. See, Swamiji is saying the same thing. Viveka karo. Separate the two in order to become aware of the true nature of what we call I. Actually, I'm not read all this, because I thought we were somewhere peeche. So anyway, so now it is uncle's turn. Bhatya uncle.
Separation is cognitive because the error is cognitive.
Very important. Cognitive means in your intellect. The error has taken place in buddhi, so the correction is also in the buddhi only. Yeah, Atma doesn't have error. Atma में कोई error नहीं है. Consciousness doesn't have any error. Error is in buddhi. So buddhi has to be corrected. Okay.
That is why we need Atma Anatma Vivek. The required Vivek, separation, is not in the primary sense, however, because the oneness is also not in the primary sense. It is not that the Atma and Anatma have really united and become one lump. They cannot unite because they have different degree of reality.
Very beautiful. They cannot unite because they have different degrees of reality. So Atma is
And Atma is
Satyam.
Satyam.
And Anatma is
Mithya.
Different degrees of reality. Okay.
Anatma has a lower degree of reality called Vyavharik Satta, empirical reality. It is changing and therefore Mithya. Whereas Atma has a different degree of reality called Paramarthik Satta, absolute reality. Theoretically, there is no way these two can join. Two things can join or have contact only if they enjoy the same degree of reality.
Very important.
A pot cannot have contact with another pot because they have the same degree, can have the contact with another pot because they have the same degree of tangibility.
So one
But
body can marry another body and one mind can marry another mind because they have the same degree of reality. But can we say one Atma can marry another Atma?
No.
Why?
Because
there is only one Atma.
There is only one Atma.
Ekam.
Ekam.
Ekam Advityam.
Yes, because there is only one Atma. Okay.
A pot can have contact with another pot because they have the same degree of tangibility. But a pot cannot have contact with a space because space is of different class. If space has a mind and thinks, I am pot space, then pot and space are lumped together, which is not true.
Yeah.
In reality, space is not united or limited by the pot. This is the saving grace. Unfortunately, space may think I am the pot space, which is called a complex, and itself a judgment about the setup.
Yeah. Very beautiful. So there is, actually speaking, is the space in this room, is it limited by the room?
No.
No, because if we break the walls of the room,
to become one.
we don't they become one, they are one. There's no becoming. The space was always space only, one space only. Iti. So now it is Anita's turn. Duality is the sense of mutual exclusion. Very, very important topic.
Yes. Duality is the sense of mutual exclusion. When space sees itself as pot space, it will see other pot spaces as different. This idea of limitation and this difference is duality. In fact, there is no duality from the standpoint of space.
Yes.
Duality
you think of
is,
it, in Kabir and all, no, they refer to this body as ghad. It is ghata, it is a pot. And there's the pot space. So that's why Vedanta has this pot space and space example. So our body is the pot. And we think we are the pot space, but actually we are that one consciousness itself. Okay.
Duality is only from the standpoint of what space takes itself to be. Duality, therefore, does not mean two. It means division or mutual exclusion.
Yeah.
Two need not make duality. When Vedanta says Dvaita, duality, it means Bheda, difference. Veda is defined as Anyonya Abhava, Abhava, mutual exclusion.
So what is mutual exclusion? You explain to me, what does mutual exclusion mean?
Me?
बड़े words है mutual exclusion.
This is a book. This is a table twice.
Exactly. The book is not table. Table is not book.
Book is not table. Table is not book.
Book. Yeah. I am Bhatia. You are Anita. I am not Anita. Anita is not Bhatia.
And then they say you are nothing but none but one.
Yeah.
They said this also.
That is with the point of consciousness.
Yeah.
Chetana is same.
So that is mutual exclusion. This is the duality is the sense of mutual exclusion. That doesn't mean it's real. Just a sense of mutual exclusion. Okay. Because if you look at, now let's take this further. If you look at Bhatya Upadhi, now in terms of the 5 elements, what is it made of? Space, air, fire,
Yes,
water.
Five elements.
Fire, yeah.
5
Let's
elements.
look at the Anita Upadhi. What is it made of?
5 elements.
5 elements. So even at that level, it is all nothing but elements only. Still one.
Still one.
Still one. Okay.
This notion of mutual exclusion creates a sense of lack because you want to be unlimited. When we are confronted with something which we are not, it immediately creates a sense of lack and limitation. That is enough to become miserable.
Yeah.
Feeling limited is the cause of unhappiness. We become unhappy whenever we find ourselves as a limited being. कई बार होता है मैं तो ये कर ही नहीं सकती. All our happiness is born of perception.
All our unhappiness.
Unhappiness. All our unhappiness is born of perception of limitedness about the self, not real limitedness.
But a perception of limitedness.
But a perception of limitedness.
Why is this perception of limitedness there? I mean, I'm asking a very obvious question. Why is the perception of limitedness there? Because we are identifying with what is limited. Why do we perceive? Supposing like you said, many things I can't do now. For example, I've got frozen shoulder. So since I've got frozen shoulder, I cannot lift my suitcase. I can see that as a terrible limitation, Dekho, I can't lift my suitcase. I can't lift my suitcase. Now, why that sense of limitation I have? Because I am identified with my frozen hand. And the limitation that the frozen hand is feeling. So I am identified with that. And therefore, I feel I am limited. Yeah? Just one sec. Oh. Okay. My electrician is going to come. Okay. Never mind. I will explain to him what is needed. We still have time. Okay. Kar do abhi. Aage.
Feeling limited is the cause of unhappiness. We become unhappy whenever we find ourselves as a limited being. All our we find out all our unhappiness is born of perception of limitedness. As long as space thinks that I am confined to this spot, it can never become free from the sense of limitation, and it feels excluded by other spaces which it thinks are different. वैसे ही है जैसे लहर सोचे कि I am तो only लहर, this much only.
Yeah. So it is all in your thinking. What is being pointed out, it's all in our thinking.
ये बुद्धि
Buddhi mein. The problem is there.
If you exclude the world excludes you. As long as self is confined to this upadhi, we cannot escape the sense of being excluded because I am not whatever is outside this upadhi. I am not whatever is outside.
Yeah, so we cannot escape the sense of being excluded because I am not whatever is outside this upadhi. Right? So we will always feel that sense of exclusion. Okay?
The idea that everything outside this body is different from me and I am different from it immediately creates in me a sense that of lack or limitation. The very presence of someone whom I consider as different from me creates a sense of lack in me.
Yeah.
We already have a lot of complexes, and the moment someone who is thought to be different presents themselves before us, some buttons get
pushed. And how? So right now my bell has got pushed. So I'm going to open the door. You continue reading.
Okay.
Continue.
You continue reading, Anita.
Yes. We think that I am not as tall as he is, or this person is more intelligent, wealthy, good looking than I am, or even the person is inferior to me, which is another problem. Feeling that I am Feeling that I am superior to somebody gives some false sense of satisfaction, but only until the mind is exposed to somebody whom I consider superior to me. This is what ignorance does. There is no reason for all this. The pot space does not have to feel separate from other pot spaces because it is all one. It is not separate from the total space because space is all pervasive. Even when this space is thinking that I am pot space, it continues to be the all pervasive space. Thank God that it does not really become confined to the pot just by thinking that I am pot space. Thus there is saving grace. Thus there is saving grace. Namely, that space just has to recognize what it is. That is the solution Vedanta presents. Because the problem is not knowing what I actually am and taking myself to be different from that. The solution is to know what I am.
इसका knob हो सकता है. This is very new, 1 year old.
I am Chetna.
When it came out, it was like this.
I am not different from
it
Ace.
was not working. फिर हमने
मुझे तो दो लग देने
कर दिया तो it started working. So we knob
मैं और तू
problem है या
दोनों दो
motor
अलग लगने हैं पर
चलता
है दोनों चेतना.
कूलिंग नहीं होता है पानी
चेतना is the basic thing.
तो वो knob problem है कि motor problem है.
Everything in this world is superimposed on Chetna. Chetna is one. So Chetna is one. And it's superimposition of the things. Mithya things are many.
The superimposition 1 minute is in our mind. Rest is all Ishvara Srishti. It is that one Chetana only manifesting itself as everything. Right?
Everything.
There's no superimposition in the Srishti as such. It is just a manifestation and as though manifestation is happening. But the problem of superposition is where?
Thinking.
In our thinking.
Vivek, avivek.
in our lack of vivek. Yeah. So the superimposition problem is actually here.
Here.
Srishti is just Srishti. It is a manifestation of,
Srishti.
it is appearing, it's an appearance which is there. Iti. So we have the problem number one of taking it to be real. Taking it to be real meaning taking everything to be different from each other. This is one type of problem that we have. And the other, and then once we take everything to be different from each other, means we are different from that also. So automatically the problem has come, that I am different. Mutual exclusivity has come. Duality, mutual exclusivity has already come. Okay? And then because this body is limited, there is a superimposition taking place by us with this body mind sense complex also. And so then we take ourselves to be limited. Whereas the truth is what? There is only one Chaitanya apparently manifesting as everything here. That means it's only Nama Rupa. Even whatever is manifesting is only Nama Rupa. How can we make out it is only Nama Rupa? The isness. And in my head, how do I resolve the isness into consciousness? I say, I know the isness. And I know the isness. Who knows the isness? I know it. I am a conscious being. And that isness is not separate. So I am, when I say I am, is same as I is. Consciousness is. So that is and consciousness are one and the same. Okay. Is it over what you've read, Anita, or we are still going?
Yes, I've read.
You have finished. Okay. Let me just see.
I'm not finished.
Then continue. Then you finish reading.
Yes, I finished reading.
No, knowledge requires an objective mind.
Oh, yeah. So she finished reading. Okay, that now is Sony uncle's.
Yeah. Okay, knowledge requires an objective mind. Coming to this understanding requires a frame of mind in which I have the objectivity to see myself as separate from this body. Separation is different even with friends.
It's difficult.
It's difficult, It's difficult even with friends and certainly with family, wealth, and so on. What to speak of separation from this body? I am most intimately connected with it, so creating distance with this upadhi is very difficult. All that the actor needs to do is create a distance from his upadhi or costume of the beggar and recognize that I am not the beggar, but because of his strong identification or attachment, even if you momentarily create that distance, it comes back, and the next moment you go on identifying. This is the primary vasana habitual thinking pattern.
Yes. Yeah, habitual thinking pattern. Okay.
We therefore require a certain frame of mind, what Pujya Swamiji calls an objective mind. All the sadhanas are for this purpose. Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Pranayama, and so on all play a role of Vedanta in that they give me an objective disposition of mind so that I am cognitively create a distance between myself and the body.
Yes, the cognitively create a distance means what? I cognitively create a distance. Is it a physical distance that I'm going to create?
No.
No, not at all.
So the distance is going to be where?
Cognitive mind.
In the mind.
Buddhi.
In the buddhi. Yeah? Okay. Distance
I am cognitively create a distance between myself and the body. Distance between Atma and Anatma is infinite because they are not of the same degree of reality. Atma is absolutely reality and Atma is mithya, but still they have been lumped together, which is called ignorance. Kim agyanam
Ajnanam atah
ataha
param.
param. That can be ignorance other than this.
Yeah. And we will finish with this last one para. So Sarojanti has only got one para to read. And the small little para. What kind of illuminator is Atma? Now the fun will begin after this. Yeah. Auntie,
But
आप read कर लो. The
okay,
next verse.
what kind of illuminator is Atma? That
Hmm.
verse is basically the response to a question. The question is, when you say Atma is illuminator, what do you mean that by that? The sun and the moon are illuminator, and the Atma is also illuminator. Are they of the same type, or is the Atma is a different illuminator than the sun and moon?
The moon. ठीक है, बढ़िया है ये. So how is Atma different as an illuminator from the sun and the moon? Iti na tatra suryo bhati na chandra
The
taraka.
Chandra Dharma.
So we will see that next time. Oh wow, very nice. Okay. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Guru Bhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Okay. Namo
Okay,
Narayana.
Namo Narayana.
Om
Yeah,
Namo
just one, Uncle